Alright everybody, hello and welcome to the ESL Open Cup Americas number 124 Grand Finals. In the bottom right hand side, the red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion, it is ByuN. And the top left, our blue Protoss from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, herO. The best 5 in the finals of this Open Cup Americas, number 124. Casting the replays of this, I don't usually cast the Americas Open Cup. Just because it's very late at night for me, especially by the time we get towards the finals and stuff, it's just unreasonable. So, yeah, don't usually cast this, but anyway, just casting some replays this week as DreamHack is on, and making sure we have all that good old content for the YouTube channel. If you do end up watching this on YouTube, we love you, and I love you even more. I will sell out with my love. Love you even more if you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and maybe let me know down below how you're enjoying these uploads lately, and maybe some plays you'd like to see in future games, as herO and ByuN will go to battle in this best of 5. Now, just a quick answering a question I'm sure someone might ask, especially because I don't usually cast the Americas Open, especially if I don't upload it to YouTube, therefore. And the question is, probably, why are herO and ByuN playing in the Americas Open? Well, it's an open cup. It just happens on the American server. Every week we have one on the Korean server, one on the European server, and one on the American server. Each of those cups, every game is played in theory on the American server, unless both players agree to play otherwise. Obviously, these guys will have played on Korea. But until now, they will have to play everything on America. And, yeah, it obviously happens at a time zone that's a bit friendlier for American players in general as well. So usually when the Koreans play in this cup, it starts at like 8 a.m. in the morning for them, which is either a very early start, but knowing the Koreans, it's probably more likely a very late night. So, well, I think this one, so I was actually just looking into, and the replay was actually listed at 3 a.m. for me, so that's the time that this replay was played at. So 3 a.m. for me is like 11 a.m. Korea, so I imagine that is like, yeah, like a 7 a.m. start, 11 a.m. Like, 11 a.m. doesn't sound bad, but then you're like, oh, this is 4 hours deep in the tournament. I think a lot of them probably do just sleep and then wake up early for it. It's just like I say, it's not quite the, kind of the Korean schedule. Usually the Koreans are up very late at night, so yeah, it's all funky in that regard. Anyways, let's talk a bit about our gameplay, as we do have a TvP, of course, on our hands, and it's going to be curious minds to start off with. Probably a ByuN map pick, and hence no surprise he's going to play 3 racks. 3 racks on a map like this is just very powerful. It can be, it can hit its kind of potential very quickly. It can hit its peak very quick. And once it's there, it's just, like I say, it's very powerful. It can run across the map quickly. It can deal a lot of damage when it gets across. The only downside of, Curious is the ramp up into the natural, so it's a little bit hard to engage up into here. But what you can do is maybe delay a third base, so you have to take a later third, and then you take a later third, and maybe that doesn't let you do the build you usually want to be doing. And there are great positions just to play tanks on this map as well. Like up here, this shoots down to this third. If you expand to the left side, the less popular side, you've got tanks behind, rocks and so on. That can be very annoying. So it's just a great, map for not just the first push from the Terran play, but future pushes from there on out as well. It is a Phoenix opening from herO. And with a Phoenix opening, you are typically expecting to see just a very defensive style. Now, what isn't good here is if herO doesn't realize it's 3 racks, because if you're just going to keep building, Phoenix, and you don't respond to the fact that your opponent has a lot of bio units, you can get into a lot of trouble very quickly. But these Stalkers should reveal a good amount of Marines and should see more Marines joining the fray, so he should be fairly aware of what's going on. Shouldn't be able to do too much more now because this ramp is going to be held. Going up to the high ground will be difficult, especially once Marauders get here, going to be even tougher. Because now the Phoenix are coming over as well, but if their plan is just to lift up a few units here and to just allow this to be very aggressive, I don't think it's going to go too well for them. You can see immediately with the extra Marines brought to the front, this is a good defense from ByuN. Turns that around instantly. What I do like for herO is he's gone straight into additional gates beyond this, so he should be able to get a good amount of units up and ready to help him defend against this first Terran push, which is now advancing across the map. So already there's Terran army coming across. The Phoenix get deflected from the main base once again, and Stim and Combat Shield's about to finish. ByuN might be able to put some pressure towards the third. I mean, the Stalkers here almost wanted to bait the Stim in, and they're going to run back to a battery that's going to die pretty quickly. The force field doesn't save it, and Well, this is a good trade from ByuN no matter what. Multiple Stalkers going down. The Phoenix is going to get targeted as well here. We get rid of one, we get rid of two. Now ByuN's like, well, do I kill probes? Do I kill Phoenix? Why not a bit of both? He gets rid of one more Stalker. Those two probes got away very low HP. Little unfortunate not to quite be able to finish those off. That was a very, very good start for ByuN. A lot of army killed, and expensive army at that. You know, the Phoenix count has been lowered. I mean, two Phoenix. What are two Phoenix going to do? Fly around the map and give map control? They're not going to be able to harass and pick units off like they were going to be able to before. This might just be a first game where ByuN runs away with it, puts himself into a very good spot very early on, and is just able to establish a 1-0 lead in this series because he's in a, like I say, a great spot to start out with. Don't think this group of units is necessarily the best right now, as we do see this group of Marines pulling back a little bit. There will be some Phoenix flying overhead that the Marines will continue to zone out as best as they can, doing their absolute utmost over here to stop these Phoenix from being so successful. Phoenix back around the natural, gonna essentially work their way up the right side. Missile turret shot hits a Phoenix there just for a moment, and the Phoenix will come through. Lifts that SCV. With SCV going down, and now Marines getting underneath those Phoenix, going to be able to turn those around as well. Marines and Marauders just continuing to produce. +1 armor is on the way, and we do have the Phoenix needing to be careful. Marines coming through. Phoenix already taking a little bit of damage, pushed up to the left side. And here comes this next big attack from ByuN. How do you deal with this as herO right now? You don't have charge yet? Phoenix can lift up maybe one unit. I guess you force field the ramp, but if ByuN is smart, I think you don't chase this army up here, right? I think you turn and you go to the left side. I mean, maybe you can. He sees the Guardian Shield pop, so now there's no force fields. Obviously, there's a super battery, so maybe that still wasn't really worth attacking up into. But I feel like once he saw Guardian Shield, it was okay to go a bit further forward, because at least he then can't be force fielded in half. That is how you maybe lose this fight. I think there's obviously not really many wrong decisions you can make here as ByuN. He's just that far ahead. He just has that many units to fight with. And it's kind of blatantly obvious that ByuN just has enough to win out this first game. That first fight of the game was truly just way too much. He was able to get so much done. And herO, interesting choice. I mean, Phoenix and then just sitting at home on Curious, where his opponent's likely to play 3 racks. I think herO is really hoping to be able to get in there with that Phoenix kind of Stalker setup at the front. If he could have lifted up a couple units, Stalkers can overwhelm, SCVs have to be pulled, and then it can get very bad for ByuN. But yeah, obviously that just turned into ByuN being the one to move back across the map and then do a lot of damage because the setup from herO was truly just lackluster versus what he was playing against. Top right-hand side of the map on Glitter and Ashes for game number 2. It's going to be our blue Protoss player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is herO. Up against the red Terran player in the bottom left corner of the map, we have got Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. Game 2 then of this best of 5, sorry, and obviously it's a very different map from the very start here. You can't really compare this map to the last, right? I mean, it's just like I say, it's very, very different. This one is immediately just so much larger. I mean, it's basically the polar opposite of, yeah, it really kind of is the polar opposite of, Furious Minds. So expecting ByuN to not be able to be quite as aggressive this time around, expecting this to be much more of like a longer kind of game setup, probably not a 3 racks, probably a 1-1-1 kind of style, or at least a factory into a 2nd racks. I mean, ByuN does like playing bio heavy openers, so like factory into 2nd racks, I mean, that works perfectly fine as a way to play. But yeah, definitely expecting something along those lines. As the SCV here is going to chase the probe. That probe is trying to keep on running. SCV's doing like I say, a reasonable job of nibbling through that as best as possible. Probe wanted to come back into the natural there. It doesn't happen as the Adept continues to Chrono Boost away. It's going to see the simulator up here is going to finish up, and that's going to be a few more probes jumping into that gas. And good to see what the tech choice is here from herO. I mean, that's about to come down. It's just going to be a Stargate. So Stargate a second time around. Obviously, could have been a Twilight Council play into that blink early. That would have been the other normal way of playing this. ByuN, it's a Reaper Warlock, but that means that he gets to scout this. And it does mean the Stargate, Cybercore, and this Gateway are all very exposed to early attacks. Whether that be some form of a tank push, some kind of an early bio drop, they are all going to be exposed from that low ground. Now, obviously, herO might want to take the bottom low ground base as his third, so that it's not really troubling unless he's losing the third base anyway, which is very likely to be, you know, the case in terms of that might be how he approaches this. So let's see. As ByuN does go for, I mentioned the idea of a factory into a second racks, and I said that actually because I just know that ByuN likes to play that kind of style. You know, factory because Cyclone's going to be a little bit safe here against the Stargate overall than just Marines. It's hard to make a just Marine push worthwhile on this map because of the size of it, but then still wants to be kind of quite heavily bio-focused. He does like, again, a lot of this bio play over kind of the tech-heavy play early, working with single units like Cyclones and a Liberator or so to harass with. ByuN is a man of simple pleasures, right? And his pleasures are, hey, I like lots of Marines and I like splitting them and stimming them and just being nice and aggressive with them in general, you know? That Reaper dies immediately there as the Adept's able to pick that off, and the Oracle is coming on through the bottom side of the map. It's going to see all three of these Adepts about to arrive onto the natural. And Cyclone locks on, means that the Marines are going to keep fighting here. I don't think I like that. The only good thing is then the Cyclone is out of position to deal with the Oracle in the main. Second Cyclone pop that actually went the wrong way initially, so isn't able to get a lock on there to shut that Oracle down. So that Oracle gets to survive. Oracles would like to join up together, maybe. This one's just going to go in the natural as we get an SCV, maybe two. ByuN was out on the map with the Cyclones as well, I believe. I think it might have just been a clump of Marines. But, yeah, just not quite in position right away to deal with this Oracle, so minor SCV loss. Obviously a little bit of lost mining time. Now it is going to be a third Oracle. Again, you still got to get all of these together, and I think that will happen by convening onto the natural. ByuN has got everything pretty much on the natural now. At least it's got a good amount of Marines. The Cyclone is moving up into the main. Here the Oracles again into the natural expansion. The Marines trying to kite forward to get that final bit of damage done. We do have the vision for one Oracle kill at least. Even if the Oracle that was initially hurt heavily is one that gets to survive. It's nice for ByuN to be able to just grab one of those kills if nothing else. As there is a Cyclone now locking on once again and just going to keep that going. That wasn't vision lost on that high ground because that's not high ground, right? It almost looks like high ground for a split second. Oh no, we got to recall the other Oracle. Oh my goodness, 2 HP and it just gets to survive. Well, that was a oh, that was a little frustrating, obviously. Okay, well, very nice for herO to at least save one of the Oracles there, because obviously that could have been real bad. That could have been real messy. So yeah, nice to be able to save that, to say the least, as we do have the Cyclone here. And the top left is making a bit of a move around as well. Trying to see what it can get up to. Looks like it's going to hit this top side mineral line. In we go, and a lock on to pick away at a couple of probies. 2 probes, 3 probes? No, just the 2 probes. So 2 probes going down. There's another Cyclone far right. That Oracle is still nearby, but it's just drop defense right now. Watching for any medevacs moving their way in there. And obviously staying for most part. Trouble is actually moving forward now, but the Oracle Cyclone is still nearby, so that's going to be something that has to be watched out for. At the moment, they're both just kind of avoiding each other. Kind of patrolling in sync. But yeah, they're in sync, yet so far away. Fortunately for the Oracle, of course. Unfortunately for ByuN. Stay stored on the map. Still Stalker Sentry on the upper right side, and a Bioforce coming through the top here is going to grab a pylon, and that was just building, nothing too major. It is going to give herO the indication as to where ByuN might be trying to attack in from here. hero's on a crazy worker count, 67. He has 15 workers ahead right now. Definitely substantial, way more so than what you'd usually expect to see at this point in the game. As ByuN stems in, though, that battery is a little far back, so he can actually hit this Nexus and force units out of battery range to defend it. And if ByuN ends up killing the third base off here, obviously that would be huge, as the super battery must be in range to heal that if you want to as well, though, as now Stalker's going down again. ByuN just keeps getting a lot done here, and again, just really utilizing the space that he's got for himself. As, oh my goodness, the Cyclone is just in a mineral line killing off probes. I mean, it's going to kill everything if those probes don't back it up. These probes need to be running, not just fighting that Cyclone. Oh man, 10 kills on the Cyclone. Now he kites away. 11. I mean, there's kills going down elsewhere too. Jeez, the Cyclone just had a ridiculous time. Well, the medevacs are at least escaping here from ByuN as well, I say. I say at least. I mean, he's obviously in a good spot no matter what. Well, the Stalkers come through, get a little revelation down as well, just tacking up a little bit of this bio, and now stimming through to chase those Stalkers down. Away that goes. I will continue to push up the top side. Just going to be seeing the Oracle have an escape out to the right. And a few Widow Mines pressing forward with the rest of this now as the bio army gets through. All of these Stalkers getting pushed away to the top of the map. And yeah, ByuN on a nice little chase right now as these Zealots will try and charge through. Widow Mines continue to burrow up. Yeah, okay, I mean, ByuN is doing well enough at the moment here. Doesn't need to be doing anything too spectacular for the most part. There's a few extra mules drop down into the third base. His third obviously now up and running. Ghost Academy dropping. herO is moving into Colossi, which is the good news here, right? For herO is that he's going to have some kind of tech, some kind of splash damage available to him. That is very important, because without that, you might just be in a little too much trouble. So yeah, that is very, very important to be seeing. Obviously, there is still potential to deal damage here as ByuN, as he actually finds the potential Zealot run by. Warping in on the left-hand side. He'll shut that down. He'll take the gateway out with him, so he's just going to nullify effectiveness of that position. Prison play, though, might be the way for herO to create an opening. He's going to get into this natural. ByuN's having to pull all the way back, and herO's main army looking to strike in sync with this attack, and that could be the timing window he needs to get something done. But so far, ByuN's looking okay. I think the scariest thing for ByuN really is just the fact that he's playing against a bunch of Colossi here, and those Colossi can be very scary very quickly if you're not careful. Prism starts to warp in a chunk of Zealots, so in go those Zealots, and a little Bioforce here is already here to kind of fight this back. I mean, we can save a few of these Zealots, but not all of them in the Prism. I like that ByuN has a couple libs, just going to help zone this army out, hold it off for a while, buy him time to get an answer to Colossi. His first Vikings are now building. 4 Colossi on the map, so as the extra 2 join up, it is genuinely kind of a scary army of herO. 4 Colossi that aren't immediately answered can cause trouble. Now, Thermal Lance as well, as the Stalkers chase this Widow Mine drop down. One Widow Mine gets out, and for now it'll just lurk out on the map. Maybe it can run somewhere useful and be annoying. I think one thing to note is just herO 4th base is very late, because obviously all the pressure, that was applied earlier. He's been very kind of, patient about trying to get to that 4th base. He's had to focus on making an army to survive and maybe even be somewhat threatening. Otherwise, if he's just making a 4th, ByuN does as he wishes, probably comes and kills that 4th once or twice. As ByuN is killing his own command center, that's not a good move. I've seen that one before, and actually usually the Terrans leave the game after that happens. So yeah, good to see him stop doing that, because that is generally going to help the Protoss more than the Terran. And probes went down. Widow Mine getting set up over here, trying to maybe find more. No detection on this army, by the way, as the Disruptors both get denied pretty quickly, but the Stalkers did get rid of the libs. However, now the Vikings are still free to get rid of Colossi, and the Marauders took a step forward too. Looks like all Colossi will go down, and this is a full reset on the Robotech tree of herO. And that means that he has to make a decision now as to what he rebuilds. Does he go more Disruptors? Does he replace the Colossus? It's not like there's a lot of Vikings out, so Colossi could be a good, reliable rebuild. Disruptors build a bit faster, though, and Disruptors are obviously probably going to be doing a little bit more likely to deal what he needs here, which is somewhat of a miracle turnaround, right? He needs some major damage very quickly. The Widow Mine, this has been lurking for so long. It hits the Prism, splashes down the Colossus, I believe. Oh my, that is a horrendous moment here. 12 minutes into game 2. What an unfortunate situation. I can't quite believe that just happened, actually. I can't quite believe that just happened. There's a couple more disruptor shots. Well, one of them denied immediately. Wow, I might have to even go on a rewind for that mine shot. Now, obviously hitting the Prism. Was the Colossus just in the Prism, or did it splash to kill the Prism? That was my question. I think it actually splashed to kill the Colossus. Anyways, we'll find out in a moment or two, because I don't think this game lasts much longer. The only good thing for herO is that ByuN's supply is a lot of kind of red health bar Terran units, so right now it's not going to push through for the kill. A few units will just unload on the high ground there, and we'll get set to go again. +3 armor coming up on the engineering base. That's coming through too. This Bioforce just settling in the middle of the map. Medivacs will do a bit of healing. Getting things brought back up to health right now. Pushing up the left, taking down a pylon, and obviously ByuN's still fully in control of this map. The only thing I'd say is more upgrades would be nice. He actually has the +2 armor before +2 attack again, a typical ByuN maneuver. Not really sure still if that's meant to be intentional. I don't think it is. I've said it time and time again, but yeah, worth bringing up is Bioforce is going pretty heavy here, and we're actually going to try and lift up against the disruptor shots. All of that was to dive to kill a single Colossus, which I think you could argue probably wasn't that worthwhile. That's probably one of the worst fights that ByuN has taken so far, so that is definitely not ideal. And now Medivacs, well, one of them is about to die, just keeps it alive. Okay. Fourth Nexus is about to finish up again. ByuN obviously just loves to run around with bio and stuff, and in this game he has been adding that tech as well, so I like his position. It's not like he's just got a mass Bioforce fighting against all these like tech units that maybe give herO a chance to come back into the game. He has Viking production, he has Ghost production, and that is essential just to make sure that this should be a smooth clean out and close out of game 2 here to give ByuN a 2-0 lead. EMP goes down, Disruptor doesn't last long at all. And every time an EMP hits, hero's like, well, now I just can't fight. And that's the thing ByuN is just consistently having. And this Widow Mine is still here, by the way, is now going to be seemingly getting a few probe kills. That's obviously pretty amazing as well, so in we go. We're going to be having Marauders, Ghosts, Vikings coming back around the right-hand side and getting set up here to maybe go for a little bit of a push through. It's going to be stemming up. Stalkers going to get hit by an EMP already, and a couple of Disruptor shots. Not quite going to land. Bioforce continues up. EMP on the Archon. It will go down. Super Battery in play. Try and keep units alive as well. Disruptor shot there was about to be big, but ByuN lifts and avoids it. And of course, we've seen ByuN leading this game for a significant amount of time. It looks like now is his chance to close this out. Super Battery's unpowered, that's why nothing is being healed. The pylon next to it went down, and only one Colossus remains. That's the only splash unit on the field right now. They're trying to warp in some Zealots, which will probably be on their own. Sorry, I lied. There was a Disruptor off to the left. ByuN dodges that easily. The Zealots will not change this, and ByuN takes this to a 2-0 lead. Like I said, guys, I kind of just want to rewind back to the 12-minute mark here and just watch this Widow Mine. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it kills the Prism and it splashes to kill the Colossus, which is obviously just like super unfortunate. Because the Prism's kind of low. Yeah, because he's dropped the Colossus out. Oh, okay. It doesn't kill the Colossus. It kills the Prism. And the Colossus then takes a Marauder shot just basically in sync with it when you're not like going frame by frame. So it didn't actually kill the Colossus, but it meant the Colossus died to the next Marauder projectile that was on its way already. And that made it obviously look as though the slash killed it. That would have been, I mean, not that it really makes a difference. Same effect, right? You know, it's a pretty cool. Actually, it just looks like a Colossus. That's a thumbnail right there. You know what, guys? I'm just gonna make my thumbnail for this YouTube video right now. You're watching this on YouTube. This is your thumbnail. Because if you ask me, that's pretty cool. So just gonna do that now while I have the perfect screen freeze frame. And yeah, why not take advantage of it? Now I don't have to come back and do it later. GG's for game 2. Let's look at game 3. The YouTube stuff is just kind of like, I don't want to say like an afterthought. It's just like, YouTube's just something I do as a bonus. Sometimes I struggle to kind of put the proper time into making the thumbnails and stuff, and maybe find the exact right image and so on. So it's something I should probably try and find more time for, but I'm just busy. And it's kind of like one of those double-edged swords where it's like, well, maybe it's not a double-edged sword, but it's like, it's a cruel cycle where it's like, my YouTube isn't doing very well, so I'm like, maybe I won't, you know, then I'm like less motivated to do better with it. I'm like one of these people that finds a lot of motivation and success, so when things aren't going well, I lose motivation a bit, right? So like, my YouTube doesn't do as well, I'm like, I'll just whack whatever up on the thumbnail, but that obviously doesn't help the YouTube do better, right? So, yeah. Alright. Game number 3 of this best of 5. Let's see what will be going down as we get this rolling. Is herO top right and ByuN bottom left. Thank you for sitting through my Photoshop my Photoshop YouTube thumbnail seminar. And right back into this, ByuN obviously up 2-0. Really in a great spot, huh? I mean, able to get ahead in that last game. That attack really on the top side was just deadly, and I really feel like herO took a lot of damage because A, the battery was just a bit too far away, and then that Cyclone in the natural mineral line was just able to do ridiculous amounts of damage. I mean, that wasn't even funny how much that Cyclone did. It did redonkulous amounts of damage. So yeah, Marine pops out, and the probe was obviously just sat there, knowing the timing of a Marine. He was ready to pull it back, and he had to pull it back immediately because one split moment later, and this probe will have died to the Marine stutter stepping. So yeah, important pullback there out of herO, keeps that probe alive. So now he gets to come home, and he's gained the information that this was a Marine opening, and it's not a Reaper opening. And that is good info to have. That's very good info to have. So with the good information under your belt, away we go into game number 3, and let's see what's gonna go down. Half the SC2 streamers only watch others and don't play themselves. I feel like that's actually not true. I feel like the majority of SC2 streamers play themselves. And very few SAT streamers only watch others. Like, I mean, obviously there's some people who, you know, cast and also play. But, who else is like a caster-only streamer? Right? Like, I actually don't know anyone. Steadfast plays? I mean, obviously, like, the channels, like, you know, for example, like Take TV and O Gaming and stuff. Steadfast plays. Yeah. Well, Deb's going through cheers and Hellion's back. I need to make surprise or cute faces on my thumbnails. No, I don't want to. You know, I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to go in depth on it, but I just really don't like doing a lot of the stuff I have to do to try and make YouTube successful. I really just like it. I just want to upload my videos, and if people like them, they can watch them. And if people don't, like, whatever. I hate having to do all the, like, clickbaity stuff and this and that, you know. So, yeah. Phoenix popping out, gathering together, and just going to be seeing an Adept and a Probe making their way around. Just going to see a couple of Marines and the Cyclone popping out here from ByuN. So, once again, playing pretty much an anti-Stargate opening with the Cyclones as two of them. And very similar to what we've seen before. Into 3 racks behind it without a starport yet. And he will start Stim and Combat Shield pretty much in check. So, yeah. Light VIP and Kuro. Well, yeah, so, I mean, that's what I mean. So you've got the tournament channels like the Cranky Ducklings and stuff. But, like, I mean, that's absolutely not half the SC2 streamers. That's the minority of people are tournament channels. The majority are channels of people who play StarCraft, right? Like, it's definitely not half. There's no way. There's no way. Alien's trying to maintain some map control here where possible. I'm just going to be seeing that one Adept is going to shade forward ahead of its buddy. He's like, I'm out of here. You suck. Oh, it's trailing behind. It's like your nonsense. Just going to see how Stim's about halfway done. Combat Shields is about halfway done. Plus one attack is building. And like I say, that's just ByuN well into his bio play here against a heavy Phoenix setup. I honestly, so far, kind of like this for ByuN. I feel like this looks pretty reasonable for him so far. As these Phoenix continue down the bottom left-hand side. And just going to come flying on in. And ByuN, well, let's see what happens. These Phoenix are going to commit for damage. We'll lose one Phoenix. The second one will go down as well now. We got a few SCVs. We got a lot of Marines. 2 Phoenix with 3 SCVs and 5 Marines. Resources lost is kind of even, but it's all mineral damage. And obviously the Phoenix count is something which is, you know, A, costs gas, and B, is generally better the more of them you have. So losing out on Phoenix there, I feel like is much more of a loss than what ByuN lost out on. So that is much more of a loss. Zealots, Adepts, Phoenix, all gathering up, and just going to be seeing a few extra Zealots warping in. Disruptor is coming through, the cannons are building. And away we go. What do you know? Quite a few big country creators like yourself have no interest with that side of things as well, so they hire a professional to do it for them and split 50-50. Yeah, but then, like, I mean, then I'm splitting 50-50, and I'm pretty sure that, I'm pretty sure what I make as a... I'm pretty sure what I'd lose out on is less than what I would make, you know? In terms of what I would gain. I'm pretty sure, because like I also don't need someone to do most of it. I only need someone to really make, like, maybe make thumbnails, but then, like, it's not that I can't do it, I just don't want to do it, you know? Like, I can cut up the VODs, upload them myself. I guess someone to make titles and make thumbnails and stuff, but that's about it. Sorry, I don't know what camera I was on, but they were just following that Disruptor as ByuN makes an attack. Disruptor lifts up. Super Battery goes down, and ByuN attacking through here. Well, the Phoenix are going to show up late to the party, but they will start to get some kills. Getting that Cyclone out of this, and it feels like ByuN is going to end up losing a lot here. Another Widow Mine lifted, so that doesn't get to go off. A few probes going down, so we are pulling them into this fight. But ByuN just seemingly has a little bit too much right now. The extra warping's coming in, though, and can that turn this around here? 15 probes dead, and yet herO still has a worker lead. ByuN only just now started the third base. The Colossus is here. Can we save this Colossus? Yes, because there's a warp prism. Now medevacs are starting to fall. Extra Zealots warping in. With these Zealots in the front line, I think this is going to eventually be a cleanup. There's one Phoenix to chase an empty medevac away. That last Widow Mine shouldn't be able to go anywhere unless a medevac can evacuate it, which I don't think is smart with the Phoenix chasing. And that is going to be a ByuN getting turned around. I thought ByuN was going to actually be okay. I actually thought ByuN had too much, but herO really just got the right units just about in time to save the day. That Colossus helping a lot. Obviously, the Prism there to make sure that Colossus then doesn't die. Pretty big deal as well. So just all those little things happening towards the tail end. As this Bioforce still trying to fight. Zealot's going to go charging on forward. And, I mean, Widow Mine shots going off here and there already as well. So getting some good damage done with that. Prism just sits here and the Bioforce trying to protect the third base. Last thing you want is for this third base to end up cancelled, right? Next couple Zealots, the extra Stalker just going to be finishing. We got 2 Vikings are coming forward, and that Colossus is going to be taking a few more hits and just going to be seeing Widow Mine still going off. Bioforce still pushing forward, and the Prism's going to die. I mean, that's obviously a really nice pick off from ByuN. herO sat here with kind of a low army supply as ByuN is going to push him away, chase him down. I mean, actually, how much can we do? ByuN is only on Marauders. The Zealot in the front did a lot of tanking. Now we've got Marauders going to chase this Colossus. A new round of Zealots probably have to give themselves up, otherwise this Colossus dies in vain. Does the Colossus die anyway? Yes, it does. And now these Widow Mines are burrowing. These Zealots have to back it up a little bit. Gonna be seeing our +2 attack, our blink continuing in. Ghost Academy coming up. A couple of Widow Mines lifting, and just gonna be seeing the Medivacs, Marines, and Marauders all still producing. More Widow Mines pouring out. And this Bioforce of ByuN back through at the middle of the map. Bioforce still pushing along. Couple Widow Mines getting rid of some additional probes. Just back around the top side. Just going to be seeing the Vikings, the Medivacs all still joining up together. Giselle's going to start charging out in front. Widow Mines are going off, and herO, again, just confidently pushing forward to chase this away with low army supply. On his way to blink, that'll improve these Stalkers a lot. Obviously, the Stalkers before, I was kind of thinking, why aren't they blinking back? He just didn't have blink yet, right? Because it was so Phoenix heavy. Stalkers coming through. One Widow Mine denied immediately, and that Medivac just about gets away. herO can stabilize on these 4 bases. I think he is right back in this. I mean, it definitely feels like ByuN has had the edge coming out of a few of these fights. It's going to see both those armories setting up on the front. The command center still coming through. Ghost Academy is smoking as it gets that enhanced shockwaves upgrade going. It's almost like it looks like it's building a nuke, but actually it's just enhanced shockwaves. Apparently they got to meld some shit together to get the EMP upgrade going. Look nasty. That's probably not good for pollution, gonna say that at least. Group of Medivacs on that right side and ready to try and make a play, but herO's here, so they won't do much. Fortunately, it doesn't go far enough forward that the Stalkers can get kills. And now this drop is a little bit stuck as well, right? So that's a lot of supply that's just stuck over here. ByuN is going to boost away down this bottom corner. Let's do attack, disruptor, reduction, all continuing in. Just going to be seeing planetary fortress coming online as well. The steel plating is about halfway done as the bio army gathers up together. Funny that we're getting Neo-Steel plating of all things right now. That feels like absolutely not the upgrade you're meant to be getting. This is a brand new way of going for the Am I crazy? Why are we building Neo-Steel plating, ByuN? You know, I've seen him, get +2 armor before +2 attack repeatedly and all of that, but starting Neo-Steel plating instead of the attack upgrade feels like something special, no? I mean, I honestly don't even know what to say about that. That's just bonkers. Fire pushes in, EMP goes down, and ByuN trying to take a fight on this 5th base, but I mean, he doesn't have a good answer to Colossi right now, so if the front line of gateway units doesn't go down, the Colossi get to live, and then the Colossi can do a lot, so you really need to work your way through that front line before an army like this can dive. The split push might be good from ByuN, though, as there's not very many Zealots over here, but there's just so much Protoss. I mean, I guess this is where the split push comes in. I'm actually going to recall home as herO, so he'd rather defend this base than risk trying to deal damage himself at the same time, and to be fair, it's working. He's going to get a lot of kills here. Very ineffective trades from ByuN. herO gets back. He defends this. And yeah, it was absolutely the right decision because killing this base on the bottom side is a risk that might not come to fruition. So we're seeing this army now pushing forward then. Stalkers coming through, a couple of Vikings getting shot down, disruptors are firing all across the board, big hits. That's going to clean out a lot of this army, isn't it? And wow, Stalkers get to blink forward for the Medivacs a little bit here. This Orbital Command is in a little bit of trouble as just going to be seeing it taking some shots from afar. The Stalkers continue to blink on through. Medivacs continuing to go down. Let's see if he's going to get blown up one side, disruptor shot going up the ramp on another. You're just going to be seeing the Stalkers are going to get rid of the Medivacs here as well. This is going to be enough from herO to take this game 3, and we are going to get herO back in this series. This best of 5 will not just be one-sided. This will go the distance. Nice. Very, very nice. Well, Destructor shots, Reactor and the Depot going down. The Zealots running in. Not going to be able to do too much else. Just going to have that Orbital Command in some trouble. Widowmine still behind the mineral line there. Refinery going down. Depot's taking damage. Stalker's pulling back. Colossi as well. Okay, those Ghosts getting some snipe stuff on those Zealots. And the Stalker's pulling through. That Orbital Command will fall. Ghost Academy picked off as well. I mean, this is obviously just watching ByuN die. ByuN doesn't have a history of messing up upgrades. I mean, I think he does. He always starts armor before attack. But I mean, we've discussed this with a lot of pros on the cast as well, with Harston, with Lambo, and everyone. It's like the ByuN thing to do when you start armor before attack. It's a mistake that he makes all of the time. Because armor is not as good for Terran units as it is as attack is. So it makes no sense to go armor first, except in some very rare niche circumstances that don't come around in normal gameplay. So I would say he does have a bit of a history of messing up upgrades. To the point of him going Neo Steel playing before something, then I don't know. But I mean, like, yeah, I'd say ByuN is the one player who messes up his upgrades more than anybody else, actually. Like that is something we've discussed repeatedly in ByuN games. We've even asked ByuN about it, and ByuN says it's a mistake. So yeah. It was sarcasm? I mean, it was just such, I mean, what? Oh, I mean, okay. Alright, game number 4 of this best of 5, guys. In the top right-hand corner, it is going to be our red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. It's ByuN. And the bottom left, our blue Protoss from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is herO. It's a Berry BP. Thank you so much for the 10-month resub on the Prime. Second Prime resub of the day. Or just resub of the day in general. Thank you so much. So, we've got a 2-1 lead for ByuN. This lead was looking pretty good for him on 2K Atmospheres there as well. I really don't feel as though that was... Yeah, I really didn't feel as though that was like a bad start for him. I felt like his fights on the top side were going well. There were just some, it was just some moments that obviously went wrong, and obviously that push at the top side got shut down heavily by the recall, and because he'd been pushed all the way back before he attacked, he then wasn't in a threatening position on the right side of the map any longer. And I think that was the real issue, because it's fine to be split pushing, but if one half of your split push is pushed all the way back, and they can't be a threat, then there's no, there's no issue for the pros just to recall to the top of the map to defend with everything. If the pros has to recall half and half, then the entire fight goes better for ByuN already, and that's where you start progressing, that's when you start looking better, and you're just in a very happy position moving on, right? So, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens in a game 4 here. So we get this going. You guys talking about people signed up to Valencia. Where do you see the Valencia signups? Are they? Can you see them somewhere? Is that a thing? Well, I assume they're listed somewhere. You can post the link? Yeah, go for it. I don't think WardiTV will ban you. I don't believe. But I mean, you're a sub and you're here all the time, so I'd be surprised. Oh wow, it's just straight up just on the ESL player website? Oh, that's kind of crazy, as these Marines do grab a probe. I'll have a look at that later. It'll be fun to see which Koreans are trying to sign up and which Koreans plan on traveling to Valencia, no matter what, Because obviously only the top 4 of GSL got a guaranteed trip. Or top 6, right? I guess it's top 6 and GSL naturally has top 6 now. That makes sense. herO is living and dying by the Phoenix openings. He is just non-stop opening with these Phoenix, and not like they've been a huge boon to him throughout the entirety of this series. Absolutely not. Robo Facility is coming in. Hello, Ellie. Ellie's here to say hi for a moment or so. Hello. Hi. Should we get a very quick Ellie cam moment, guys? Pretty sure if this is going to go on YouTube at this point, but I'm pretty sure YouTube has probably not seen Ellie before. I don't think she's made an appearance on a YouTube cast. YouTube, this is Ellie. Say hi to YouTube, Ellie. If you guys like Ellie, like and subscribe. And then if you like and subscribe enough, you get more Ellie. You even get some WardiTV. How great is that? Alright. Back into game. Alright, so Adept in the upper right hand side. Hanging out, getting into some fun. Raven is about to be finished, and I always feel like a Raven when you're playing against Phoenix is very scary because obviously it can get shot down so easily. He's going to hide it in his top right corner. I like that. ByuN is aware, like, hey, look, you're playing a lot of Phoenix. I appreciate the Raven in itself might not be brilliant here. It could be very kind of susceptible to attack, so I'll be careful. I'll bring it back and just make sure it's hidden away and keep it as safe as possible. Now our depot's getting started up on the natural. Just going to be seeing Reaper, Stim, +1, all building as well here from ByuN. As he will push a little bit with Cyclone Marine. The Adept sees the push out though and says, okay. ByuN's like, okay, well if you know, then I'm going to back it up because then you might be ready for me. This would have been nicer if I could have got there for some units late and stuff and then gone from there, as ByuN now starting turrets, preparing some additional defenses, and herO is just playing Phoenix straight into that Colossus. It's already on the way up. So Colossus coming through. And waiting to find out what the Phoenix Colossus can get done in this game, as ByuN has been pretty scary with his first few timings. He's been pretty deadly coming across the map, getting in position, being able to do and do well, trade well, all of that good stuff. Some servers coming for a little scout in, see what's going on. Obviously nice to see the bio, the upgrades still going, all that kind of stuff. Just gonna be having a couple of barracks still coming through. Against him, combat +1, all upgrading for the moment, as our bio force is gonna come knock at some rocks, and those rocks already taking some shots and beginning to go down as medevacs will be overhead, and this push going to be powering up with the Raven still alive. The Raven can get in and get like a double matrix on the Colossi. That could open a huge window here for ByuN to deal some damage. The Phoenix, yeah, I mean, they want to get the Raven, no doubt about it. Okay, I can't watch this up anymore, I'm sorry. The no doubt about it that this Raven is the target for these Phoenix. I was, oh no, 12 probes go down. Wouldn't mind dropping the natural. herO didn't realize it. And that's massive. ByuN just threatening so much at the front. herO spending so much time with the Phoenix, being like, oh, can I get the Raven? You know, is there a chance that he just loses 12 probes over there? And that is obviously horrendous damage already. And herO is going to be troubled from here on out. Apparently this sub's just about survived as the Raven got out of range. But, that is not good. That is really, really not good. Yikes. Okay, then. Well, Phoenix coming up, and SCV is going to get tagged a little bit. There's going to be seeing a few SCVs continuing to go down. 7, 8. So, I mean, the Phoenix is doing great on the counterattack. Just getting a lot done. Just going to see the Marines dropping into the back of this mineral line, and Probe's already going to start dropping down here. Well, let's drop. Doing okay initially. It's only 3 workers, so not great, but the big play is the attack on the front, where we are going to kill off the Nexus. I mean, the Raven is there to still cast if it wants to. I mean, this army isn't scary, again, without the Colossi. And for now, ByuN's just going to back it up. Still only 5 probes killed, but obviously getting the Nexus is a pretty big deal. Just means he probably has to back it up and actually probably play defense. It looks as though herO just wants to attack. He knows that he can maybe capitalize now. That drop in the natural was a big giveaway from ByuN. Let's see what he can do. Again, I really feel like this Raven is going to be the be-all and end-all of this. Here we go. The Matrixes go off. The Colossi are disabled. And in we go. A massive Widowmine shot as well initially to begin with. The Colossi derp forward. We're at least going to kill 2 of these. So that's nice. 2 Colossi permanently removed from this fight. And we just have got the Phoenix count still okay, but with an EMP, they won't be able to do much either. And with only 1 Colossus, this is just not as scary as it once was. The Raven now goes down. The Phoenix finally get what they were looking for all this time. Just took a while to get there as we chase through. And that is going to be, I think, a ByuN defense. I think he's got this. He's going to get the Colossus. And then you just got to deal with the units, but there's no immediate warp-ins. If there's like a Prism here and warp-ins were coming, like, you know, to the front lines, maybe. Maybe. But as it stands, ByuN is going to push this back. Supplies, ByuN down 6 workers, but up a bit of army. hero's just going to type GG. Third was finishing just about then. Yeah, I mean, could herO have probably stayed in this? Yeah, he probably could have stayed in this. But, yeah, I mean, I think he knows he's obviously got, like, no army. His tech's fully reset. He's got no gate units. I think he knows he's in trouble. No charge, no blink. He knows for sure that he's in trouble, so that's why he GG's. The numbers might not be, like, super, oh my god, get out of this game. Everything else kind of is, though. And that is GG's. herO leaves, and ByuN takes it through.